Southside Flyers snatched a victory from the jaws of defeat. Round 10 of the WNBL season continues in the beautiful southeast of Victoria, with the Melbourne Boomers and Perth Lynx clashing in Traralgon. Despite being on the road all season, the Lynx are the WNBL's most informed team with 4 wins on the trot, but their hold on first place is under threat from the Boomers, who will leapfrog the Lynx and take top spot if they win in Gippsland today. Both teams are missing several of their best players, but the stakes are still very high at this very important stage of the WNBL season. Hello and welcome to our coverage on KO Sports. Ben Waterworth with you, alongside former Opals assistant and champion coach, former WNBL coach of the year, Laurie Chiswick. Laurie, great to be alongside you for this game. And it wasn't too long ago when these two teams last met as well. The Melbourne Boomers actually got up by 3 points, 80-77 in that game. But that was the last time the Perth Lynx lost, because they've won 4 games on the trot since, and they're in really good form heading into this game.
Well, they are, Ben, and I'm so excited about this game because there's lots of storylines with it, and you know, they are missing players, both teams. 2 each in the Opals and then 1 each injured. But I think it balances each other out. And so I still think, regardless of those missing players, we're going to see a really close game.
It's kind of hard to distinguish who has an advantage, because you look at it, they've got 3 starters out for the Perth Lynx and there's 3 starters out for the Melbourne Boomers, which we'll profile in a second. So it's a bit of a hard to get a read on which team to tip for this game.
Well, it is, but the thing is that both teams have a bit of depth.
Yep.
And so the players that are stepping in to fill those absences, great opportunity, and we've been saying that all weekend in all these games that have featured with Opals players missing. So again, tonight, a really good chance for both teams, for some of those bench players, to have a real impact for their teams.
Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting contest nonetheless, and see how those bench players do go. It is wonderful to have WNBL action in Gippsland today. We are at the Gippsland Regional Indoor Sports Stadium in Traralgon. There's a good, healthy crowd in attendance for the Boomers and the Lynx. We'll look at the Lynx first, the travelling team. They're always the travelling team, the Lynx, and particularly Marina Maybury as well. So that is the foot of Marina Maybury. She is in a moon boot. She's not playing in this game, arguably the MVP favourite. There's no return timeline at the moment for Marina Maybury. There's no structural damage, but there's inflammation, which is kind of why they're still stuck in a bit of an awkward conundrum at the moment, the Perth Lynx, about when to play her. So as a result, this is how the Perth Lynx will line up. Chibatoni, Sharp and Eisenberger get a start today, Laurie.
Well, and that's so exciting for them, and they themselves have played some big minutes in this team, and so they'll be ready to go. But the gap that has to be filled is between those 3 players that are missing, Maybury, Garvin, and Whitcomb, 49 points. So, that's a huge gap to fill. But look, they are a talented outfit. They are very well coached. And it's going to be really fun to watch them this afternoon.
Darcy Garvin and Sammy Whitcomb are off to Serbia with the Opals. And speaking of the Opals, Kayla George and Tess Madgen are part of that lineup there. No Ezzy Magbegor due to injury, which means we've got a new-look Melbourne Boomers starting lineup as well.
Well, that's right. Izzy Wright slots into that starting lineup. Penina Davidson, and what a great exciting effort for Lou Brown to be into that starting lineup. I mean, she averages 5 minutes a game, so this is a big leap for her, and I'll be really curious to see how she goes. But again, that word opportunity presents itself.
No doubt. Lou Brown has been doing some great work with the number 1 Inspectors in the NBL 1. She now gets a start for the Melbourne Boomers with the Perth Lynx. So there are your starters for the Lynx. Lauren Scherf, though, who was very close to Opal's selection. She didn't get the call up, but she is in some mighty form at WNBL level this season. And with no George and Magbegor there, is a huge opportunity for Lauren Scherf today.
Absolutely. And so for her to come out and really dominate, and she's been playing really well, so she should go in with a lot of confidence. And she should star in this game, and they'll be a focus point for her. And it'll be for Lou Brown and for Penina Davidson. That'll be their objective, is to try and stop Lauren Scherf. But Tiffany Mitchell, superstar that she is, Lindsay Allen, I think they'll really step up to the plate and take this game on.
It's a big smile from Lou Brown as well, as she gave her teammates one final fist bump before heading out onto the floor for her first start. There are your referees for this afternoon's game, tonight's game rather, in Gippsland. Wonderful to have the WNBL in Traralgon. And we've got two high-quality teams going head-to-head, two top 4 teams to finish off your weekend of hoops in the WNBL. Great to have you with us on KO Sports. It's Perth with the opening position. This is their second meeting, these two teams, in this WNBL season so far. The Boomers winning the last game 80-77. But Perth have been in red-hot form since, and Lauren Scherf has been crucial to their success.
What a bullet pass in there from Jackie Young, straight into the hands of Lauren Scherf. No question there.
Now the Boomers will have their first look on offense. This is Lou Brown getting the start today, along with Davidson, who's back into the side after a few games out. Mitchell, their star import, works her way into the paint and can't get that one to go, and a handy tip there from Young to give Scherf the team rebound, and Perth are off to a solid start. This is Sharp as Chibatoni to her left, Eisenbarger to her right. Young for Scherf, backing down on Davidson, and couldn't get the desired result.
Well, it looks like that's a focus of the Lynx, to get it inside to Lauren Scherf, and why wouldn't it be? She's got the height, she's got the skill, she's got the experience.
Averaging the 14 points per game so far this season, Lauren Scherf. Brown, Mitchell working around the perimeter at the moment. The Boomers. Mitchell kicks it out for Izzy Wright. Really good look for three, in and out. And Young catches that.
That's one thing in the absence of Kayla George and Ezzy Magnabor. They're losing a lot of rebounds. So that's going to be key. The others have to step up in that regard. Boomers
have won their past 3 games against the Lynx. 8 out of 10. In fact, the Boomers have won in their last meetings between these two teams, as Izzy Wright splashes it down from the corner.
I like how Izzy Wright took that shot, even though she had just missed the last one. That's a shooter's mentality, and we know she's a good 3-point shooter.
Sharp. Oh, Mitchell just copped one of the face there, allowed Sharp to come through. Brown came in over the top. Mitchell's still a little worse for wear after that contact.
Just got her on the shoulder.
Lou Brown waiting there to try and put down an authoritative block, as Mitchell still is recovering from that contact, courtesy of Alex Sharp, who is a very tough competitor for the Lynx. Young backing down on Allen. What a matchup that's going to be today, as the Boomers able to come away with that rebound. Wright, Mitchell, in for Davidson. Her first look in the post against Sharp. Tough shot, but she drew the foul. Lauren Scherf is going to be called for the first foul of the game.
Well, that would be a good tactic of the Melbourne Boomers. If they could get Lauren Scherf in any sort of foul trouble, that would certainly make a difference. So I think that was a good decision that Penina Davidson didn't pass it out. She just went to work.
Had a lot of time in the WNBL, Penina Davidson. This is game number 69 for her. She, a really important member of the New Zealand team in last year's Asia Cup. She averaged 15 points per game at 58% from the field and 8 rebounds. And she's such an important member of that Tall Ferns outfit. She misses that second attempt. It gives Mitchell an opportunity for a 3. Eisenbarger fumbled, but then Young's there to pick up the crumbs. Young, mid-range 2, in and out. Both teams having looks from inside the perimeter early stages, but not a lot going down. Perth 1 of 5 early stages. Mitchell for Wright, who was well defended by Eisenbarger. Mitchell works her way inside. That's what she does best, but missed it. But a good offensive rebound from Brown, and Davidson misses everything.
Attacks again, Davidson, trying to, maybe draw a foul from Scherf.
Their 4th straight year in the WNBL, 3rd year with the Boomers. Played 1 season with the Adelaide Lightning, Penina Davidson. From the corner, just off target, and Izzy Wright raising up with a strong rebound. Much experience, Izzy Wright, she brings to the Melbourne Boomers again this season. No subs yet for the Boomers. Almost halfway through this quarter. Mitchell guarded closely here by Chibatoni. Those two are going to be going head-to-head all day, as Mitchell misses again, and Scherf brings down the defensive rebound, and some contact as well for the Boomers. Mitchell 0 of 3 from the field so far.
Mitchell's really key to this Melbourne Boomers outfit in today's game.
Chef wants the handoff, has Chibatoni for cutting in. She goes herself inside, and a nice block from Davidson. Oh, may not have been in the end. Trickled out of bounds. Have a look at the replay. So still a Perth ball, but that was a good block there from Davidson. And then a sloppy pass has allowed Allen to pounce, and it's in dangerous hands if you're a Perth fan. Allen for Davidson, and then a block from Eisenbarger at the other end. Davidson copying some of her own medicine there. Young from the stripe, pulls up, knocks it down. Perth get the lead back. Scoring not flowing for either team in the early stages.
No, not at all. And that's, you know, that's sort of to be expected when your top scorers from each group are absent. Everybody's just got to settle into a slightly different role.
Allen guarded closely here. Goes to work inside, despite Lauren Scherf being there. Couldn't get that one to go. The two players down behind play, slow to get to their feet. Sharp missteps. Little sore Alex Sharp. She gets to her feet now. Some help from her teammates. This is Lindsay Allen, no fear. It was her and Jackie Young going down, having a laugh as they both hit the floor.
It's a little bit messy right now.
It is.
Ben, just neither team have sort of settled, and we see Alex Sharp going off. Hopefully she's okay.
One of the more promising prospects in Aussie hoops, Alex Sharp, had a little bit of experience at Opal's level. This is Emma Clark with the ball inside now to Young, who's fading away. Not a lot dropping so far for Jackie Young. She's 1 of 4 from the field. Here's Carly Ernst. Game number 4 so far this season. Very experienced player with the Flyers, previously in the Bendigo Spirit. 8 to shoot here for the Boomers. Izzy Wright has got their only points so far. Kicks it out. Brewster for 3 on the floor. Can't get that one to drop.
Who would have thought between Melbourne and Perth, halfway through the 4th quarter, the score would be 4-3.
Make it 6-3 as Lauren Scherf capitalises and gets her second field goal of the night so far. The find from Emma Clark. Guy Malloy, Paul Flynn next to him as well, the Boomers coaching panel with Larissa Anderson. Ample experience in that panel, searching for that championship they've been working towards for a long time. Allen with 5 seconds to shoot, works her way inside and was double teamed. Eisenbarger on her left, Young on her right, forced a tough shot. Just wonder, from the Boomers games that I've watched, Laurie, in that situation, Allen's got ample players normally to choose from to pass the ball off. She doesn't normally go herself. She went herself on that occasion.
Well, I'm not sure. The camera angle didn't quite show us whether there was good spacing to be able to flick it out, but it was pretty good defense by Perth. You know, she was pretty well surrounded. It was hard to make that pass.
14 seconds on the shot clock for the Boomers. Scanlon with the inbounds pass. And Brewster with a deep 3 and well off target. And Scanlon with a long offensive rebound. Another chance for the Boomers, who've only hit the 1 field goal in 6 minutes of basketball. Allen for Brewster. In and out, it's just not dropping for the Melbourne Boomers. 0 of 8 so far for them. Good drive hard inside there from Burrows. She's off target. Scanlon brings the ball into the front court. Ernst thought about the 3. Brown.
Perth are in a bit of a match-up zone.
Ernst works her way into the paint, and that's what the Boomers will need from Carly Ernst today if they're going to win. She was brought onto the Boomers roster in recent times for this situation with no Magbeg or George. So this is where she's earning her keep today. But at the other end, the Lynx get the quick reply. Eisenbarger going to knock in the 2.
That's exactly right. And I thought it was really smart by the Melbourne Boomers to think ahead, to think, well, chances are we're going to be missing 2 of our bigs. And certainly if Ezzy wasn't injured, she would be on that Opal squad on that trip. So they had the foresight to bring in a Carly Ernst just to fill that gap. And I think it was really, we'll see how she repays them.
Hook shot, just misfires from Ernst, but she gets a second chance. A beautiful find inside. Scanlon gets the left-hand layup to go. Back to within 1 point. So the Boomers just getting a little bit more rhythm on offense in the past few minutes. Both these teams missing some stars as Burrows barges her way into the key. And cops some contact and will head to the charity stripe.
Really got bailed out there. I mean, that was a nice pass by Lauren Scherf, but she had nowhere to go. There were 3 defenders there. Keep your hands out.
So Taylor Burrows signed her first pro contract ahead of the 2019-20 season after 2 seasons with the Lynx Academy. Really good NBL 1 West season, averaging the 17 points per game. Her coach at NBL 1 West level, Keegan Crawford, saying he's never seen someone of her age put in more work. Now she's getting some reward here with some of the regular starters for the Lynx out, getting a little bit more court time. Taylor Burrows. Some messy lob passes there, and that was courtesy of some strong Lynx defense, and they forced a turnover.
Yeah, just it was sort of a soft 3/4 court press, but it caused them a bit of difficulty. Instead of passing the ball ahead, they were constantly looking back.
Here is Burrows. Clark took a step too many. Emma Clark. Brewster able to force the turnover with some good D.
It's good to see Tiff Mitchell back on the court. They need her firing the whole game.
Doesn't look like Alex Sharp is yet to come back on the floor either. As Davidson is denied, but there was a foul in there. McClark a little flabbergasted by the call. Davidson will be heading to the free throw line.
So all of a sudden for Perth, if you take off if you take off Lauren Scherf, all of a sudden they really lack in size, and a good decision by Penina Davidson to take it inside and go to work.
63% free throw shooter so far this season, Penina Davidson. Had 4 years of college at the University of California, where she averaged 8 points and 7 rebounds per game across her stint there. It's the second. But that trend of scoring being hard to come by continues, and you just wonder, does that favour the Boomers to a certain extent, because Perth rely so heavily on scoring high? They're so far clearly the best offensive team in the competition, Laurie.
Well, they do. They just, I think the theory is let's just outscore the opposition, and so, you know, this sort of game, a defensive game, certainly suits Melbourne in that they're the, you know, with Adelaide, one of the best defensive teams in the competition. Yeah,
they're second for defence at the moment, the Melbourne Boomers, compared to the Lynx that are 6th for defence, but they average 87 points per game so far this season, Perth, which is a clear first. The next best is Canberra at 79, which is a significant differential.
And we see Alex Sharp back on the court, so that's good to see.
She's manning up here on Davidson in the post. Davidson tries to assert her authority, and she does, and she levels up the scores with a minute and a half remaining. This is Clinch Hoycard. Just her second game of the season so far. The pass had a lot of heat there, straight off Alex Sharp, but Davidson may have got a hand in there as well to force the sideline ball. Good signs here for the Boomers if Davidson's going to work down low. She's got 3 points. Scherf back on the floor here. She'll receive from the inbounds. Chibatoni, Young. With 6 to shoot. Passes inside for Scherf, outside. Now a shot from Gandini knocks it down. Emma Gandini is known for her defensive work, showing what she can do at the offensive end of the floor there. At the other end, Oh, nylon on the triple.
What an answer straight away, Carly Ernst. That's exactly why the Boomers brought her in.
Maybe 196 centimetres, but she's got a lovely three-point shooting stroke and always backstat ability as well. Gandini at the other end. It may have been on the line, but she gets her own offensive rebound, hits the deck hard. Gets a little hand there from Tiff Mitchell after going to the floor. Here is Carly Ernst. Can't give her too much room to move at the top of the...
Well, the scout on her is definitely close out long, carry a hand, and don't let her shoot a three.
Pass intercepted there by Davidson to force the turnover. Scanlon with ample pace. Bringing it up the floor. Davidson screaming for it in the post. Instead, Ernst is there. 10 to shoot for Carly Ernst. Back out for Mitchell, has thought about the three. Now is running out of options. Ernst for her second triple in a row. Doesn't get the lucky roll. Davidson was fouled as she tried to rebound that ball. She's starting to cause some headaches for Perth at the defensive end of the floor.
Well, she isn't. Look how she just wrestles to get position on Alex Sharp there on that offensive rebound. She just worked her body, physical, didn't stop, and was rewarded.
Guy Malloy, Melbourne Boomers coach, his final year in charge of the Boomers, been well documented throughout the season. There's Lily Scanlon showing off her pace around the rim. And that is out of bounds. There's not long left on the clock here, about 3 seconds.
No, it's almost a catch and shoot from this inbounds pass.
13 apiece, Melbourne Boomers and the Perth Lynx. Scanlon for Mitchell. Just gets it off in time, did she? Count the points. Mitchell gets the buzzer beater to go. Melbourne take the lead at quarter time, 15 to 13. We'll be back with the second quarter in just a few moments.
To everyone who said we're not strong enough, not fast enough, wrong. We're crossover queens, scoring buckets, taking names and hitting no-look threes. We fight for every ball. And do we dunk? Hell yeah. When we roll onto the court with nothing to lose and everything to prove, you're in for a show. She got style, she got balls, she got belief, she got game.
Follow the road less travelled to a place where untouched horizons stretch forever. Share laughs and make memories with old friends or the little ones in the back. Sometimes the destination is only half the story. The journey is the true adventure. Around every corner, over every peak and through every valley, wonder is waiting for you to discover. Gippsland, all kinds of wonder.
It's a beautiful part of the world in the southeast of Victoria, Gippsland. They love their hoops, and no doubt Aussie Hoops is playing a big role in the development of young basketball players in Traralgon as well. Aussie Hoops is basketball's national junior participation program. It introduces kids aged 5 to 10 years old to one of the most popular sports worldwide. To find out where your kids can start a lifelong enjoyment of basketball, visit that website, aussiehoops.basketball/find a program. And the fans of basketball in Gippsland have been treated to a pretty scrappy start, it has to be said, Laurie Chiswick. Boomers leading 15 to 13. Scoring has been very tough for both teams.
Well, when you look at the stat sheet, and the top scorers are Carly Ernst 5 and Lauren Schurz 4, but the thing that stands out to me is Perth right now are 1 from 3. Only 3 shots, 3-point shots they've taken, and that is because Mabry, Garvin, and Whittam are 3-point specialists. So it's a completely different look for the Perth Lynx.
And their other starter, Jackie Young, she's only put up 5 3-pointers for the entire season. Lauren Schurz is a strong 3-point shooter. She goes at 50% from deep. But when she's so dominant on the inside, they want to try and make the most of that today.
Yeah, for sure.
Chibatoni for Schurz. Handing off for Young. Foot just inside the perimeter, then backs out with 10 seconds to shoot here. Loses control, back inside for Schurz. Ernst's got a hand in there to force the turnover. Tiffany Mitchell kicks up the pace, works her way inside. Pass was awesome to Davidson. She hit the deck, Mitchell, afterwards. Davidson couldn't quite reward her. Score remains Melbourne 15 to Perth 13. Great to have you with us on KO Sports. Scherf, tough shot inside. Didn't get it to go. Speaking of tough, Mitchell brings down a strong defensive rebound. A lot will be asked of Tiff Mitchell today. She's starting on the floor. She gets around Scherf, takes a lot of steps inside. Scherf able to get the rebound. Young only has Ernst in front of her. She puts up the mid-range 2 and she knocks it down to level up the scores 15 apiece.
Great decision by Young to not try and drive it in over the Carly Ernst, who's a good shot blocker, but just to pull up just out of the reach of those long arms.
10 to shoot here for the Boomers. Scanlon has Brewster in the corner, goes to her now, checks her feet there, Brewster, and knocks it down all net.
That's a nice shot from Rachel Brewster. That'll give her a lot of confidence.
Third time lucky for her. She's 1 of 3. Rachel Brewster. The Boomers are 18 to the Perth Lynx 15. There's some contact in there as Scherf tried to work her way to the rim. Nice find from Scanlon. Despite Sharp being in her face, Brewster that under control. Boomers sitting third on the WNBL ladder at the moment, 7 and 3. The Lynx first, 6 and 2. But with a win today, the Boomers would usurp the Lynx and head to first on the WNBL ladder.
And not only would they head to first, but Perth would drop to 3,
yes.
So third. So it's a really critical game for both teams.
Scherf makes both. It's 18-17. In favour of the Melbourne Boomers. Brewster, Ernst, Mitchell, Scanlon, Ernst for 3. Knocks it down. The net wasn't ready for it. Carly Ernst made a drop though. Boomers finding their rhythm from deep at the moment. They're 4 of 9.
That's Carly Ernst's spot. You might as well put an X on the floor. So Perth really, you know, they should be aware of that. They need to get out to that.
Young, guarded by Brewster. Brewster stands up defensively. That's a tough shot, though. Jackie Young, too good. Count the points, and she'll head to the line to shoot an extra.
That was strength that got that. That was, you know, up against that physicality. She just kept going and was really balanced in her shot.
Averaging the 13 points per game. Jackie Young, but big in her last 2 games. 19 points, 5 rebounds against Southside, and 24 points, 10 of 18 from the field against the Spirit. So she's coming in this game with some good offensive form. The Perth will need her to lift considering the quality of players that are out today.
And what a good, you know, she lifted. Mabry wasn't there, so in her absence, yep, she found a way to score.
Davidson fouled. Again, she'll be heading to the charity stripe. Already had 4 attempts from the free throw line for Nina Davidson, but she's 1 of 4 so far.
And we know, Ben, how, you know, right now it sort of doesn't seem a big deal, but when it's a 3-point game and you shoot, you know, 50% from the foul line, it just, can make a whole difference.
No, it's one of your bugbears in the WNBL at the moment, Laurie, as well as free throw percentage.
Exactly.
She's good here on her first attempt. The Boomers are the second best free throw shooting team in the competition. She misses the second. Boomers going at 77% from the charity stripe this season compared to the Lynx, who are going at 73%, ranked 5th. So off Perth hands, and the Boomers can reset here with 14 on the shot clock. Davidson has just tapped it back towards Scanlon, who has a good look for 3. Bank wasn't open on that occasion. Tony running the point. Young, foul heavily, and gets the lucky roll.
And 1.
Jackie Young, terrific jump shot, fouled by Mitchell. and gets some assistance from the rebound the backboard.
Well, Mitchell realized that, you know, the scout would say that she's a driver, make sure that you contain her, and so she just stepped off that little bit too much, and Young recognized that she had an open look and went for it.
And she becomes the first player into double figures today. She's got 10, and Perth take the lead, 23-22. Again, that what a press from the Lynx defence as Lindsay Allen steps back onto the floor for the Boomers. And
she's calling for an on-ball screen, and she's so good at an on-ball screen.
This is where she does her best work. Deep two, can't get it to go. Scherf brings down the rebound.
And they need to get Lindsay Allen involved in this game. She hasn't put up many shots. She hasn't got any points yet.
Young, again guarded by Brewster. This time she retreats back to Cibertoni with 10 to shoot. Works her way into the lane, Cibertoni, and knocks it down. Stepped up against the Bendigo Spirit in Perth's last game at 23 minutes, 7 points, 4 assists. He's the winner of the WNBL Rookie of the Year from 6-7 years ago. Ernst, Mitchell, raising up and not getting the lucky roll there, but Ernst bringing down an offensive rebound. Guy would always be thrilled about that. As Mitchell sets and can't hit the triple. And Davidson can't bring down the rebound, but it's deemed out of bounds off Emma Clark. Offensive rebounds well in favour of the Boomers early stages, 10-4, and Davidson having a big hand in that.
Yeah, no, they're being very assertive with going after every shot that goes up to try and secure a rebound.
Cibertoni takes a cease. See Marina Mabry there, the injured star, and you'd have to say favourite for the MVP at the moment in the WNBL.
I think there's a few in that category, Ben. Some of the, you know, the imports and you know, our own players, Kayla George.
Yep.
I mean, they're just, we've been really treated to some high-level elite women's basketball.
Why would you want to be anywhere else on a Sunday night than on KO Sports, checking out some of the best players in the league and around the world, in the country and around the world, rather. Clark for Burrows, driving baseline, looking for Scherf. He cans from Davidson to force it out of bounds with 7 on the shot clock.
That was a really good rotation on defense when she got beaten, and the split line help was there to come, and somebody else dropped back from the high post area, so it was really impressive. Penina Davidson getting her hand, Lou Brown coming across from split line.
Timeout called. It's the Lynx holding a narrow 3-point advantage, 25 to the Boomers 22. How are you reading this game so far, Laurie? It's a bit of a tough one to get you.
Well, it's a bit of cat and mouse, isn't it? Yep. You know, I don't think anybody's got momentum. There's no one player that's dominating. I guess Young's got 10 points and that's it. But even that's you know, in a quiet way. So it's really interesting, and tactically, just this is where the coaches, you know, really have to take hold of this game, get a read of it, and try and make a few adjustments.
Ryan Petrick, such a highly rated coach as well. He spent 5 years under the tutelage of Andy Stewart, who ran one seriously high-octane offence when he was in charge. And Petrick's kind of continued in the same mould to a certain extent as well, Laurie.
Well, he has, but you have to make adjustments with the people that you've got on the court. So right now he doesn't have 3-octane players out there. So you have to adjust to your personnel and you know, the focus of going to Scherf inside is a good thing. And you can see neither team have really run the floor and gotten any fast break shots, and so it does make a difference. You've got to coach and play to the people that are available for you.
See Ash Eisenbarger checking back in. Of course, Ash played a couple of seasons with the Melbourne Boomers. Really stepped up a couple of times when Liz Cambage was unavailable, and she was at the Boomers. Did Eisenbarger as Clark gets a nice feed, but couldn't reward her teammates' pass.
And I feel like both teams that have had a few misses like that, where you know, they're pretty gettable, and they just haven't dropped.
Davidson calls for movement. Now into the trusty hands of Allen, for Mitchell, for Brown. What can the starter do? She's got Mitchell, Allen rather, and Mitchell on the perimeter, but in the end doesn't matter. Davidson gets the 2 to go. Both teams struggling from the field so far, as you can see on screen. Burrows trying to drive inside. Lindsay Allen walked away illegally, according to the referee. You had Mitchell and Allen screaming for it on the outside, but Davidson good enough to get the two in the end. She's really being a presence underneath the rim at the moment, Penina Davidson. Low-scoring game. No team really pulling away, no player asserting their authority, although Lauren Scherf is threatening when she's in the vicinity, and she now has 8 points for the game with 8 rebounds.
I think I'd be running a lot of things, you know, get the defense moving a little bit, then get her sliding down low, and how do you stop that?
Allen for Wright. Tough shot. Almost from the corner, and Izzy Wright gets the long two to go. Get a couple of nice shots looking side on today, Izzy Wright. Long triple attempt, just off target. And Dini couldn't bring down the offensive rebound.
I think this low-scoring game suits Melbourne.
Definitely.
You know, they like a sort of a grinded-out game, whereas Perth like a free-flowing game. You know, get out, get running, get up your threes, and they're just having to play that different style today. But they're adapting well.
And the Perth Lynx forced a turnover. Great defense from them. They lead 27-26 as we tick towards half-time. 3 minutes 45 left in this quarter. See Jackie Young, leading point scorer on the floor with 10. Scherf with 8 for the Lynx and 8 for Ernst, the Melbourne Boomers. Burrows had no one to go to, and Mitchell almost lucky that she didn't touch it before it went out of bounds. The Boomers get the ball back. She's threatening as well, Tiff Mitchell, but just the 2 points so far for her, with 2 fouls also to her name. Again, the Boomers forced to work hard in their back court to bring it into their front court. Mitchell trying to get around Scherf. Scherf not happy with the call.
I'm a little bit surprised. Lindsay Allen is a great ball handler, and she's not attacking that press at all. You know, drawing 2 defenders and then making a pass.
Scherf with 2 fouls. Wright, Brown, Davidson, Allen, Lou Brown again. And didn't quite come off, trying to find Tiff Mitchell. And Jackie Young with an easy layup, and Perth go 3 ahead. Perth lifting defensively. Now Lindsay Allen has a good look. Works her way inside. There's that beautiful ball control you were talking about, Laurie, but she can't quite finish it off. Clark puts the ball on the floor, drives hard on Tiff Mitchell and gets the 2 to go. Perth out to a game-high 6-point lead, 5-point lead rather.
You can almost say that it was a transition shot because the defense was back, but they were not set. There was no split line help, so she went right around them really easily.
Right. Mitchell in the corner. She has 4 seconds to shoot here. Backing down on Young, fading away, just gets it off and gets the lucky roll. Tiff Mitchell, and that's what she needed probably to get her confidence going offensively.
Well, nothing's coming easy, is it? That, you know, to have to rely on sort of somebody going one-on-one and it just rolling around and dropping.
Clark in and out. That looked good off the hand.
Maybe it's these Gippsland rings.
It might be. Might have a bit of Townsville firmness to them. And that's, well, thought it might have been denied, but some hand in there from Young as Izzy Wright tried to put up the shot, and Wright will be going to the line.
Substitution,
Two tough players, Mitchell.
Yeah,
and Young.
that was pretty good defense. She was so close to her.
Young getting away her first personal foul as we have a look at Izzy Wright. Hasn't missed a free throw so far this season,
Oh,
Laurie.
no, don't say that.
She's 7 of 7 so far in this WNBL season. Her second straight year with the Boomers.
Come on, Izzy, make this one.
Never in doubt. No signs of the commentator curse here on a Sunday night in Gippsland. Back to within 1 point. She's perfect from the free throw line, but she gives away a foul there. Izzy Rice, the first personal of the day. Still no team, just able to get a decent scoreboard advantage, go on a bit of a run. Yes. Alex Chibatoni will be heading to the free throw line. 57% free throw shooter. As I mentioned, WNBL rookie back in the 2015-16 season with Adelaide. Chibatoni. She gets the second one to drop. Right, Mitchell, great ball movement for Davidson. No one was cutting to the left.
Oh, but Panina should have just taken it herself, just gone up strongly, absorbed the contact.
Opportunity goes begging for the Melbourne Boomers. It's Young. Great work inside. Good defense from Lindsay Allen. Forced a tough shot, but Young's here to have another crack. Scherf, mid-range two. Can't knock it down. Sharp with the rebound. She's an excellent rebounder as well. Fourth time lucky. Chibatoni can't get it to drop. Perth going at 41%. Cut inside from Izzy Wright. That was tough. Davidson, I think all right, there's a whistle on the play, with the Boomers trailing by 2. Timeout called. Izzy Wright was going up there. She had Clark and Sharp for company.
I like the fact Mitchell really pushed it on that last possession. I'm just not sure the decision to pass it into a crowd of people, or Carly Ernst was trailing behind at the three-point line. That might have been another option, but at least push it. They, you know, if Melbourne can push the tempo a little bit, I feel like they've got more depth compared to Perth.
So you mentioned Lindsay Allen beforehand. She's 0 of 3 from the field, 1 rebound, no assists so far. She has the 1 steal to her name. Is it on her to get herself more involved in the game, or can the coaches or her teammates bring her more involved in the game? Because she does set the tempo a lot for the Melbourne Boomers and set the tone. Well,
she does, and that's why I'm a little bit surprised, especially in the absence of the players that are missing, that she hasn't just gone, I'm going to step up here. So, one, I think it absolutely is on her.
Yep.
But two, you know, I think the coaching staff will be, and her teammates will be saying, Lindsay, go to work.
Yeah.
You know, set an on-ball screen for her. Or the coaches can call some plays that can get her involved. But she then has to go, okay, I'm going to come, I come off an on-ball screen, you know, really strongly. I'm going to shoot it. I'm going to score. I'm going to get myself in some positions to be a scoring threat and help my team.
Tiff Mitchell is the player that plays that kind of authority, but Lindsay Allen probably doesn't. Often backs her skill rather than that grit and determination that we see a Mitchell play with.
Yeah, we know Lindsay Allen can take over a game.
Of course. Here she is with the basketball. With just over 1 minute remaining in this second quarter. Right for Ernst. Been a great offensive threat for the Boomers today. She's into double figures, Carly Ernst.
That's a nice little, they were playing a zone, Perth, and Carly will cut into Ernst, cut into the middle of that zone. Nice pass and just a turnaround Jay.
And the Boomers force a turnover as well, and Carly Ernst developing into a great story here. Wasn't too long ago when she gave birth to baby Kylan, only September 2021 rather. And she's back out in the court and having an impact at a time when the Boomers need her more than ever. As Mitchell has a good look, and Scherf far too strong. And she's already into double-figure rebounds, Lauren Scherf. 8 and 10 her night so far. So 16-second differential between game clock and shot clock here. And there's 10 to shoot for the Lynx as Ernst reaches in and gives away the foul. Ernst v Scherf. Fascinating matchup. Two different types of big players. Lauren Scherf has been on the cusp of Opal selection for a while. In fact, she was the #1 rebounder at the Opals at the FIBA Asia Cup last year. And she's got a double-double already. That's her 6th double-double of the season to date, Lauren Scherf, having a terrific season. Talking about MVP contender, she might not right be up at the pointy end, but gosh, she's having a career-best season so far.
Well, and it's nice to see that she's carried on that form from the Asia Cup into her new team with the Perth Lynx.
4 seconds to shoot in the shot clock.
Yes.
Allen, there she is.
There you go. That's what we wanted to see.
Some great authority. There'll be a last-second shot here from Young. Well off target. Lindsay Allen gives the Boomers some momentum heading into the half. But gosh, scoring has been hard, and it's almost justice that we're at 34 apiece at half-time, because it has been very hard, Laurie, to split these two teams across the first 2 quarters.
It's hard to even analyze this game, or what's worked, what hasn't worked. It's been lots of subs out there, players sort of thrown into different positions. Nobody has just taken this game and really by the scruff of the neck and really run with it. There's sort of especially for Melbourne, very even scoring spread amongst them. So it's very intriguing, this game.
Let's have a look at some of the first half highlights as well. It's been tough going offensively as well. We've seen a couple of nice strokes from deep, particularly from the Melbourne Boomers. They've hit 4 3-pointers, including 2 3-pointers from Carly Ernst, who has stepped up without Kayla George and Ezzy Magbegor. She was recruited to the Melbourne Boomers in recent months to step up as that big in their absence, and she's doing a good job of it so far, Laurie.
Well, she is, and I like what I've seen from certainly from Carly, but some of her teammates as well. Rachel Brewster, she came in and played some valuable minutes, but as I said in the call, just put a big X on that at the top of the key for Carly Ernst, because she loves that shot and very influential there. But Jackie Young has been pretty consistent the first half. Yeah, she's just sort of chipping away, and she's got 12 points right now. So I'm liking what I'm seeing from her. So
they're leading the defensive rebounds, the Lynx, but offensively rebounds, the Boomers. Penina Davidson having a big say there as well. She is threatening for the Melbourne Boomers as that second tall alongside Carly Ernst to hopefully try and get that victory for the Boomers today.
The problem is with the offensive rebounds is they haven't necessarily finished on the putbacks, which is really a shame, because you do all that hard work, you position your body, and then you really need to try and finish that.
So that is how it sits at halftime. 34 points apiece between the Melbourne Boomers and the Perth Lynx. We just mentioned her beforehand, Penina Davidson. She's being asked to step up in the absence of Ezzy Magbegor and Kayla George today, and she's doing a great job. And she's very experienced in the WNBL. We mentioned this is game number 69 for Penina Davidson, and at times she's threatened as well. She got a nice early confidence-boosting block on Lauren Scherf, and with Scherf being such a presence down in the low block, Davidson's going to be super important in this second half to try and curtail her.
Well, I like the mentality that she's gone into this game with. She comes in off the bench and maybe when Perth made a few subs, but she's right up against it, against Lauren Scherf, and she's not taking a backward step. She's really trying to use her body well. She defensively, she's holding her own in there with Scherf, and I like what I see. I like her energy and what she's bringing to the table.
Penina Davidson just averaging the 13 minutes per game so far this season off the bench. Hard to get some court time. We've got the likes of Kayla George and Ezzy Magbegor on the same team, but she's doing a great job today. Let's have a look from a Perth Lynx perspective at their dominant player, and it was Jackie Young in particular in that second quarter. She's one of the starters left, along with Lauren Scherf out there, and she took over in that second quarter, made some really tough baskets inside the perimeter, Laurie.
Well, I liked her decision-making, when to shoot it, when to pass it, when to drive it in or pull up there, as we see against Carly Ernst, and some good handles here, and then taking it, just good decisions, a lot of poise, recognizing who her defender is and what she can do against them. She's really leading this team. Yep. She's setting the tempo for them, and she's an on-court leader out there right now for sure.
Yeah, she's doing a fantastic job. Jackie Young, she has a game-high 12 points and 3 rebounds so far in this game. As we switch our attention back to the Melbourne Boomers, as we mentioned, no Kayla George, no Ezzy Magbegor, and no Tess Madgen. Madgen and George on Opal's duty. Ezzy Magbegor would have been on Opal's duty if it wasn't for an injury that she suffered last week. Who's filling the shoes of those missing key players tonight? We've talked a lot about Davidson and Ernst as well, but a couple of guards have had to step up in Tess Madgen's absence in particular.
Well, yeah, I've always liked Izzy Wright. I think she's a real steady contributor. She knows her limits. She comes on. She shot a few points, you know, a couple of threes, got herself to the foul line. So I think she's been really rock solid, and they need her to be. Brewster as well. She's come in. She's not played a lot of minutes and hasn't looked out of place out there. We saw her nail a nice three-point shot. So, you know, those players, I think it's got to be done by committee for sure. You know, nobody is going to all of a sudden come out and, you know, get 11 rebounds and fill Kayla George's shoes sort of thing. So it'll be by committee, but I think that their bench so far has done a good job. And
Lily Scanlon has the 3 assists as well, of course, a championship player with the UC Capitals not too long ago. Just changing focus back to an Opal's perspective as well, and we have to say big congratulations to the 12 players that are Serbia-bound at the moment. They've got 3 games coming up. They've got games against Korea and Brazil and the host nation Serbia as well. It's going to be fascinating to see how these Opals go. We know they've already qualified naturally for the World Cup, which will be held in September, but looking forward to seeing how they go about their business in a couple of days' time. I know, we get 3 more games of basketball to slot into all our WNBL games, so I'm really looking forward to it. You know, the Serbia one obviously has a little bit of extra interest just to see how they'll be received, but it's such a great opportunity for some of the young players that are new to the Opals senior squad, and just to see how they go in international competition. And also a good opportunity for some of the more experienced players who have played a lot of basketball for the Opals. One of them is Kayla George, and we caught up with her recently to find out what it means to be back in the Opals setup once again.
Yeah, it's always a really tough selection time, and I have been through every phase of that selection through my Opals career, so can certainly empathise with the girls that don't make it. But yeah, very excited to be a part of this team heading over to Serbia. I think we've got a good bunch of you know, experience and new, and some people that, you know, haven't really had a lot of international experience at the senior level. So I think overall it'll be a nice little combo and a nice little hybrid team to go over and get some dubs. Yeah, look, Tolo I've played with at the AIS and played against since we were under 16s bottom age. So we've got a very long history together, and I love playing with Tolo, which is pretty evident in our Puerto Rican game. Just a bit of a mem. Yeah, but Spider as well, Beck Allen, look, she's an absolute hot talent, one of the, you know, strongest guards we've got coming out of Australia, playing in Europe and the WNBA for many years. So really looking forward to reuniting with them, and I'm sure they're excited to see us and our Aussiness and our accents and our Aussie treats that we may or may not bring them. Yeah, it's certainly an interesting time to be going to Serbia. I think when you play a host nation, regardless of heightened, extreme, you know, Novak situations, it's, you know, the host nation in Spain in 2018, we had to beat them in a semi-final. It was crazy. So I think playing Serbia in Serbia was always going to be pretty volatile. But on top of, you know, the whole situation with Novak, I think, I mean, the Serbians might be a little bit more excited to see us. Maybe not, and might be a bit more against us than normal. But I think, you know, we've got ourselves over there. That's all we need, our own hype. Our bench should be really hyped. And, yeah, look, it's going to be a great contest. I'm really looking forward to it. It's been tough, you know, out of WNBL teams and, you know, on the floor together. It's been a bit janky at times, but, like, it's just a lot of energy, and everyone's, you know, such great talent. So there's a lot of just good stuff happening, a lot of fast movement, and it's a very different pace than the international game. So just having to adjust really quickly, which I think we did really well. We got some good stuff in at both ends of the floor, and really set a tone for our culture this week, which I think was needed. Yeah, so I think there's 260 days until the World Cup, and I was really blessed to be able to play at the Com Games on home soil, and that was just incredible. And this is an even bigger event. You know, the World Cup is all nations, not just Commonwealth. So, and the fact that it's like specifically just for women's basketball as well. And I think, I mean, Sydney's just, you know, you're not going to even know what's hit it. Like, it's just going to be so exciting, and I think the talent that's going to be here is going to be really overwhelming and in a great way. And I'm really looking forward to, you know, potentially playing in front of family and friends on home soil and having that home crowd advantage.
She's really going to have to step up as well, Kayla George, with no Jenna O'Hea, who's been the Opals captain for quite some time. She's kind of the natural leader, because I know Sammy Wickham led the Opals recently, the FIBA Asia Cup, but Kayla George is going to have to step up from a leadership perspective as well, Laurie.
Well, I was thinking about that when I saw the list that came out, thinking, now I wonder who will be captain with Jenna O'Hea not there, and Kayla is a good prospect for that. We know that certainly off the court she rallies the troops together and keeps that feeling of having a bit of fun out there too in that. But on the court, she's ultra serious and wants to get that job done.
Most definitely. The Melbourne Boomers will be missing her over the next couple of weeks in particular. But from a WNBL perspective, we saw just after last weekend, Laurie, a restructure of the fixture was announced. So all teams going into the season were expecting to play 21 games. Instead, they'll be finishing with 18 games each in the WNBL season, which will be finishing in sort of mid-March now. How much of an impact, Laurie, is that on the teams, on the 8 teams as we head towards now the back end of the WNBL season?
Well, I think this season everybody's had to be pretty fluid right from day one when you throw in COVID. So now there's a new fixture. People are looking at it and going, well, okay, we've got some back-to-back games, which isn't ideal. But you know what? They had them in the hub last year. So I think anybody that was in the hub will be used to that, and certainly the coaching staff. Perth, as we know, probably have it the hardest in that they missed that first month of the league, and so they're playing already make-up games for that. So they have a big-time schedule. But I think everybody just wants to get the season done, wants to, finish it off, get into playoffs, and get a champion.
And as Christy Collier-Hill, the new boss of the WNBL, said, the league is 100% committed to completing the season and working very hard behind the scenes to make that happen. So we wish the WNBL and Basketball Australia all the best in getting that done. And the clubs are obviously working super hard. You mentioned Perth as well, so we have a look at their fixture to come, because at the moment it's a rolling fixture that's been announced, sort of 2 rounds at a time. They've got this game, then Bendigo in 6 days' time. Then after that, a 7-day break, they play the Adelaide Lightning. Then the next day, they play the South Side Flyers. Compared to the Melbourne Boomers, that only have their next game against the Sydney Uni Flames on Feb 20. So is that, I suppose it's not really a mindset change for the Lynx, because they know that they're already making up a lot of games, Laurie?
Well, I don't think it is a change, because they would have come in knowing that was the situation. And if you look at the Boomers, they played a lot of games early on when others, they've played already 10 games. And so, I think everybody... Fixtures, I would never want to be in charge of fixtures, let me tell you that.
Don't want Mark Quinn's job at Basketball Australia?
They do an unbelievable job, because it's a nightmare. But I think everybody just has to, look at it and go, well, it is what it is.
Yes. Thoughts and prayers to you, Quinny, if you're watching from home today. As we turn our attention back to Traralgon, it's 34 points apiece between the Melbourne Boomers and the Perth Lynx. So what do you want to see from both teams in the second half, Laurie, as the Boomers and the Lynx prepare to go at it again at 34 apiece?
Well, it's been a real grind, and sort of neither team have had the ascendancy at any point during that first half. So it'll be interesting if one team can just have a breakout at all, and whether that comes through transition points by pushing the ball really hard, or getting numerous stops in the row. But I feel if either team gets ahead by a little bit, they might stream ahead.
Underway in the third quarter from Gippsland. Great to have you with us on KO Sports. Sunday night hoops in the southeast of Victoria. The Boomers go to work through Mitchell, who waited until the very last second to release and got it in to give the Boomers the lead. Great timing from Tiff Mitchell. She takes her tally to 6 points for the night. Chibatoni guarded here by Allen. 8 seconds to shoot. Lauren Scherf, a very good three-point shooter, and that looked good off the hand, but went in and out. And Sharp comes up with a rebound and gifts the 2 to Chibatoni.
Right place at the right time in that instance.
She's terrific off the glass, Alex Sharp. That was no exception.
So you can see Melbourne are running this offense, flex offense, and Perth are just switching everything in their zone. It's sort of like a matchup zone.
Deep 2 is off target that time from Tiff Mitchell, as Scherf brings down rebound number 11. As we mentioned, another double-double for Lauren Scherf in this WNBL 2022 season. Scherf sets the screen here for Chibatoni. Pick and roll action. Kicks it out for Young, for Sharp in the corner, who releases and falls well short, and athletically keeps it in for Young. Fresh 14 seconds for Perth, courtesy of Sharp, and she's rewarded with the 2.
That is so nice to see. That was just pure effort going after that ball, and I think Melbourne just assumed it was theirs. Then Perth came up with it, and Sharp was left wide open under the basket.
24 years of age, Alex Sharp. A lot of great years ahead of her on the court. As Mitchell swings it out for Wright, who works her way into the key. The turnaround hook is off target, and that is deemed off Boomer's hands, much to Davidson's disappointment. Pure grit and energy and determination on display from Alex Sharp.
Alex Sharp is a really high IQ player.
Here's Chibatoni bringing the ball up the floor. South Australian product off to Young. Eisenbarger, good look for 3. Really back her in that position as well with a clean shot, but she's off target. And Izzy Wright kicks up the tempo. Lovely pass inside for Brown. Can't quite hit the scoreboard. Eisenbarger with a strong rebound. And Allen v. Scherf. Scherf was hoping for the fast break play, but Lindsay Allen with those dangerous hands. Crossing over, left-hand attempt, well off target. Good defense again from Sharp. Again, Scherf. She was heading offensively towards the other end of the floor. Wasn't expecting it that time. Mitchell loses control. It's tennis rather than basketball at the moment, end to end.
Oh my goodness. Both teams are trying to push it and play at a higher tempo, but it's certainly not working for either team. The fumbles, the turnovers.
Eisenbarger thought about the 3. Scherf has a mismatch there on Allen inside. Didn't quite get to her. It's still off Boomer's hands, so it will be a Perth ball with 9 seconds on the shot clock. Scherf was one-on-one there with Lindsay Allen in the post, but he's not quite able to get it to her. 38-36. Very little has separated these two teams. The highest lead was 5 points for the Perth Lynx.
Yeah, that's what I was just wondering. And 5, as we know, is nothing.
No. Great to have basketball back in Traralgon. And we've seen plenty of games in different parts of Victoria this season so far. Great to have some games in Ballarat, which was where these two teams last played. Young for Scherf. Drives hard inside Lauren Scherf and cops some contact, and she'll be heading to the charity stripe.
That's something that Lauren Scherf has added to her weaponry this year. We know she's always been able to shoot the 3. She's been able to post up inside. But now to be able to take confidently players off the dribble from that high post area is really good to see.
Her 9th WNBL season, Lauren Scherf. She had 4 with the Flyers, 2 with the Caps, including the championship in 2019, and 2 with the Sydney Uni Flames. So with the Perth Lynx, and a really important member of the Lynx as well. So many stars in the guard positions, and he's really stepping up as that centre. She misfires, so she's now got 11 points with 11 rebounds. Allen, Brown. And it's back to Allen. Mitchell, right in the corner, drives baseline. Trying to free up Lindsay Allen for 3. And Lindsay knocks it down to level up the scores.
That's exactly what Melbourne needed, a little dribble penetration, get the ball inside out, and then your shooters are ready and open to be available.
In the top 10 in the league, Lindsay Allen for three-point percentage, going at 36%. Doesn't take a lot of three-pointers, but when she does, normally makes them count. Young. Again working her way into the key. Chibatoni for 3, off target. Scherf grabs it. Don't count the points. A foul came beforehand. Scherf, one of the N1.
Foul is on number 7, Luke Brown.
Brown is called for the foul. Sharp is also involved in that play. Might have been Sharp actually.
I think it might have occurred in the blocking out situation.
Yep. Just under 6.5 to play in the third term. Sunday night hoops from the southeast of Victoria. Young got some contact on her way through.
Oh, I thought that was pretty good defense.
Yeah.
I was impressed.
Count the points as well. She's heading to the free throw line to shoot an extra. Tough from Jackie Young. Who's now up to a game high 14 points. But, can't get that free throw to go. Free throw percentage, 4 of 8, the Boomers, 10 of 13, the Lynx. Brown inside for Ernst, backing down on Young. There's a mismatch there, Bank not open on that occasion. And Young kicks up the tempo. Clark's in the corner along with Chibatoni. Gets to Clark now, quick release. That was well off target in the end. And there's a foul called on the Boomers, so the Lynx will still have the ball. Ernst is called for the foul. And that's Carly Ernst's 4th personal foul as well, Laurie. And
Gee, that's crept up.
yeah. She's taking a seat as well. And she rightly takes a seat. There's still 15 minutes of basketball left. And Ernst with 4 fouls. That's could be costly. Hand in there from Lou Brown. The bench really enjoyed that defensive play to force it out of bounds. 10 seconds on the shot clock for the Lynx.
That's what Melbourne need to continue to do, is just be disruptive, try and get some deflections.
Oh, blocking foul called on Lindsay Allen as she hit the deck. Wry smile from the American international.
Ooh.
She have a case?
Yeah, I reckon.
Foul called. And Lindsay Allen just having a chat with the referee. Of course, being Lindsay, it'll be quite a polite chat. Very humble in nature, Lindsay Allen. Terrific to have her once again in the WNBL. We're watching Jackie Young at the line.
Maybe that'll fire her up.
All right.
Might.
Jackie Young's fired up. She's got 14 points. She averaged 11 at 49% from the field in the 2021 WNBA season. She was also a gold medalist in the 3-on-3 at Tokyo with the USA. Also played a part in the WNBA Grand Final Series with Las Vegas. Perth back up to a 4-point lead. Mitchell on the floor. Gets around Sharp. Works her way inside and loses control. Mitchell not too happy out there. Mitchell on the play. Young just reaching in there, called for the foul. Mitchell thought that the foul might have been called beforehand.
So really, Carly Ernst is the only player on either team that's in any sort of foul trouble. There's a spattering of players with 2, but nobody else in trouble.
Brown screaming for it in the post. Mitchell goes to work on the inside, raising up from the charity stripe, in and out. 3 of 10, Tiff Mitchell from the field today. Clark is firing from the corner. Now Mitchell kicks up the tempo. She's got 3 Lynx to beat, and again she hits the deck and takes Burrows down with her.
I actually felt like she got sort of hit along the way even before Burrows. Right there.
Clark.
Yeah.
Clark putting her hands up. She's a tough player, Tiffany Mitchell. And she will be heading to the free throw line as well. Having a terrific season, averaging the 16 points per game, which ranks her 5th in the WNBL. Only 1 game with 10 points or less.
She's normally pretty reliable at the free throw line, 89%. So let's hope she makes the second one for Melbourne fans.
That's the 6th best free throw shooting percentage in WNBA history, Tiffany Mitchell. So to see her miss that is Quite uncharacteristic. Boomers going 50% from the charity stripe. Scherfnelly good in the deep two, loses control. Good defence from the Boomers. Izzy Wright comes up with the ball. Mitchell for three. She's 0 of 4 from deep. Lindsay Allen, though, is very good from deep normally. She misses. Mitchell coming the other way, heavily met. She's right involved in lots of collisions in this third quarter.
She is.
Just brings so much intensity and energy to the floor.
Well, it's so good to have any of your guards that just go after that offensive rebound.
So still off Perth hands, that's Dean. It'll be a Melbourne Boomers ball. There's Tiff Mitchell on screen, just an incredible athlete. Here's her look, 3 of 14 from the field so far today, including 0 of 4 in three-point territory. Allen, rare turnover from Lindsay Allen from the inbounds pass. Can Perth pounce? Clark for three. Look good off the hand, in and out.
I was just about to say this could be the biggest lead of the game if that had gone down.
The Lynx 1 of 12 from deep. No Wickham, no Mabry. As Lindsay Allen works her way to the outside, Izzy Wright. She can't get that one to go. And this tough scoring day for both teams continues in the southeast. Scherf to Sharp, turning around. Can't get it to go. Mitchell brings down the rebound. First place up for grabs on the Sunday night. Which team is going to get the scoreboard ascendancy? Lindsay Allen again calling for the screen. Davidson on the inside. They work that well, the Boomers, and Davidson rewards them with the 2.
That was a really good read of what the defense gave them.
Davidson up to 8 points as Burrows hits the floor.
Not so good at that end of the court. Guy Malloy and the coaching staff won't be that happy with the split line help, which was completely absent.
Burrows able to find an easy way through in the end. Brewster coming in late to make her earn it. Taylor Burrows will head to the free throw line. She's 2 of 2 so far in this game. And make that 2 of 3. Product from Bunbury and playing NBL 1 West with the Rockingham Flames. Very strong local Western Australian club. We're on the second. This game is just so interestingly poised. 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. Lindsay Allen was hoping to kick it out to Mitchell. Lost control. Davidson picks it up and gets the 2 to go. Scores level again. Impossible to know which way this game's going to go.
It's so impossible.
Young misses the 2. Sorry, Laurie.
Even as the coaches, I'm not sure that they would quite know where to make some adjustments or what's going to be the difference in this game.
Could come down to a moment or moments.
Or just one player, a Lindsay Allen just really feeling it, or a Lauren Scherf going to work.
Allen lobs it for Scanlon. There's Eisenbarger in her face, but Lily Scanlon shows off the dancing shoe.
Maybe it'll be, I was going to say Penina Davidson, 2 baskets in a row. Those are the misses you just can't afford.
Young. Offensive foul is called. Allen hits the deck. Don't count the points. Jackie Young so tough on the inside. And Allen hits the floor. Taking the charge.
Well, she got 1 out of the 2.
Yes. Can the Boomers capitalise at the other end? Mitchell free for 3. Can't get it to go. Make that 0 of 5 from three-point land for Tiff Mitchell. Both teams struggling from beyond the arc today. Young with 7 to shoot now. As Eisenbarger outside. Beautiful ball movement though from Scherf. And Chibatoni gets that one to drop.
Well, neither team are shooting well from the three-point line, and that's why they're both employing a zone right now. But you've got to make sure that you don't overcommit and leave somebody like Scherf wide open.
Allen in control, goes to work with Scherf in her face, raises up over Scherf. Davidson with another offensive rebound. She's playing a mighty game for her side tonight. Asked to step up in the absence of some stars, and she's delivering so far.
She really is, and where she's delivering is on the effort things.
Yep. So 6 rebounds so far for Davidson, 5 of them from the offensive glass.
Yeah, that's big. That's really big.
Mitchell takes a seat. Davidson is getting herself to the stripe a lot. This is free throw attempt number 8 coming up for her.
She leads the Boomers scoring with 11 points and maybe make it 11.
Doesn't quite qualify for a commentator's curse. But
oh, my goodness.
Sharp underneath, denied by Davidson. Big rejection for the New Zealand international. Terrific game from Penina Davidson. 1 minute left in this third quarter as Allen pulls up for the mid-range 2 and she can't hit. Young goes to work. Beautiful pass inside for Chibatoni. Davidson again! Block party in Gippsland.
I think she might have got called a foul on that, yeah. But she's just in every piece of action right now, Davidson.
Looked like a lot of basketball at first sight. Nonetheless, Chibatoni is off to the line with 36 seconds remaining in this third quarter. See a couple of substitutions. Everyone thinks that that's the end of the free throws, but Chibatoni says, no, I've got one more. She was wrong. 2-point ball game. Scanlon, beautiful pass inside for Brewster. Scanlon's looked good with the ball in hand today. 12-second differential between game clock and shot clock. Now 8 on the shot clock with Allen going to work. Kicks it out for Brewster. She's already hit 1 3. Can't make it 2. Scanlon gets the offensive rebound. Loops it in. Scores level again in Traralgon. One final play left. Young pulls up for the mid-range 2. Knocks it down. Gives Perth the lead. The prayer goes up. And just misses in the end. And as we turn for home, this unpredictable topsy-turvy game continues. The Lynx 49, the Boomers 47, and a fourth quarter action is coming up right after this.
Follow the road less travelled to a place where untouched horizons stretch forever. Share laughs and make memories with old friends or the little ones in the back. Sometimes the destination is only half the story. The journey is the true adventure. Around every corner, over every peak and through every valley, wonder is waiting for you to discover. Gippsland, all kinds of wonder.
The FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup 2022 is bringing the world's best players to our own backyard this September, and the Opals will be they'll be one of 12 teams vying for a world title at Sydney Olympic Park. To sign up first, access to tickets, head to Women's World Cup basketball. Three-quarter time in Traralgon. It's the Perth Lynx 49 leading the Melbourne Boomers 47. And it has been a mightily unpredictable game to get a read on throughout these first three quarters. And you get the sense, Laurie, that it's going to be like that in this fourth quarter as well, unless one player grabs this game by the scruff of the neck.
Well, we said that at the start, though, that the outs for both teams pretty much equalized each other. And so here we are with two teams that are, you know, 3 starters each out, and it's a 2-point game, so it's not surprising. But for me, 2 players or 1 player on each team, you know, if they can step up for Melbourne, I think it's got to be Mitchell.
Yep.
You know, she hasn't had a great shooting night, but if she all of a sudden starts getting those shots in, that'll make a difference. And Lindsay Allen too. And for Perth, they're shooting 1 from 12 from the 3-point line. Go to Lauren Scherf inside, you know, keep feeding her inside, see if she can finish.
Already a double-double for Lauren Scherf. There she is with Jackie Young. Those two have combined for 29 of Perth's 49 points so far. Davidson with a team high 11 for Melbourne, and Ernst has 10, but Ernst has 4 fouls to her name. She is starting on the floor though. Carly Ernst alongside Penina Davidson for this fourth quarter. Lynx by 2. Chippertoni switches it out for Sharp, who knocks it down and breaks the 3-point drought.
It's a nice look by Alex Sharp, and she'll feel good about that starting this fourth quarter.
They have just had her foot in the line though, Alex Sharp, so just the 2. Nonetheless, you haven't seen too many of those long field goal attempts go today, as Izzy Wright misfires from deep. Young, Eisenbarger, Scherf for Sharp. Guarded here by Lindsay Allen, but the young gun goes to work and kicks it right out. Young has a good look for 3. The ball movement was there, couldn't quite come off, and Lindsay Allen has a good look at the basket here, and she reduces the margin to 2.
Good disruptive defense there by the Boomers.
No team has been able to go on an extensive run right throughout this contest, and you sense that is going to be the state of the game right up until the final buzzer. Scherf backing down on Davidson. Beautiful spin, banks it in off the glass.
And if she can do that, there's a mismatch there. So, you know, force the Boomers to have to make a decision. Do we go and double her? Do we leave her alone? But if she just gets that sort of positioning, she should really finish this game off on a high note.
Ernst for 3. Can't get it to go. Young brings down the defensive rebound. Important stop here for the Lynx. They lead by 4. They haven't led by more than 5 so far today, but Jackie Young can't extend that lead. Tense game for both of these teams. Spare a thought for the coaches, who probably been scratching their heads all day, you assume. Allen crossing over on Eisenbarger. Superb Lindsay Allen.
Maybe she's just going to go to work here, Lindsay Allen, but now it's back to a 2-point game. Where's that been all game from Lindsay Allen?
Maybe she finally has decided to put her team on her back, carry them against the ladder leading Lynx. Scherf for Eisenbarger for Young. Well, good defense there from Wright. 2 seconds to shoot. Young's got to put it up here. She finds a way somehow inside, and the Boomers lucky to get away with it. Ernst, Scanlon, the young gun with confidence, puts it up and misses. Wright back for Scanlon. They have a fresh 14 to work with. That's in the trusty hands of Allen. For 3 in Lauren Scherf's face,
yes,
if you don't mind. LA, razzle-dazzle with a special 3-pointer. Boomers hit the lead in Gippsland. On the back of some wonderful solo plays from Allen at the other end. Sharp can't get it to go, but there's a foul going to be called on the Boomers.
She reminds me at this point of Leilani Mitchell, who can just be quiet, go through a game, and all of a sudden just light it up and be the difference. And right now that is Lindsay Allen, and the Boomers need her.
The self-confidence is what we want to see from Lindsay Allen on the floor, because when she's in her groove, Few more exciting players in the WNBL to watch. Sharp misses the free throw. She's a 43% free throw shooter this season, Alex Sharp. And she misses both. Allen screaming for it. Just off to Ernst's left, but Davidson's on the inside.
Oh.
And then Scherf got a hand in there to force the turnover. Now, Ernst has already given away 4 fouls, so she didn't take a risk there. Big rebound from Sharp. She missed it. That's deemed off Boomer's hands. And we saw on display there, the reason why you can't get yourself into foul trouble too early. She pulled up Carly Ernst.
Good push by Jackie Young.
Yep. Here's Scherf. She goes to work again. Ernst doesn't go hard. Allows Scherf to get the 2.
And that's that dribble penetration we talked about earlier from Lauren Scherf.
Perth get the lead back. Allen for 3. She's feeling it. Can't get it to go. Eisenbarger with a big defensive rebound, and Burrows brings it into the front court. Sharp in the corner. Scherf guarded here by Davidson. Lauren Scherf denied again by Davidson. And it's off Scherf as well. And it's a Boomers ball for the baseline.
Davidson did a really good job of keeping Lauren Scherf in front of her, keeping that little bit of spacing. And then as she went up, and she was able to block it.
Rejection number 3 for Penina Davidson in this game, which is so fascinatingly poised with 5 minutes 50 left. Perth 55, Melbourne 54, and good luck to you at home if you can predict the winner from here.
Oh, I was just thinking, please, Ben, don't ask me who I'm tipping to win at this stage, because I have no idea.
What are you saying if you're the 2 respective coaches, though? You know, without your stars, and you know, probably things haven't gone to plan offensively for either coach so far today. Certainly from a Perth Lynx perspective, they love to score. They score well over 80 points per game. Particularly from a Lynx perspective, what are you saying?
Well, I like how Young has pushed the ball. You know, so if you can get a little bit of tempo this last 5 minutes. I mean, I know they're tired, but if you can do that and catch the defense, maybe not quite in position. And then look inside for Scherf. I mean, that's why not? And if she can't get it, she'll recognize to kick it outside to some shooters. But they haven't been shooting the ball well, so keep going inside.
They haven't put up a 3-point shot in the fourth quarter, the Lynx so far. It's because they've gone 1 of 12 from the first 3 quarters from deep. The Boomers have been going from 3-point territory. They're 6 of 24. Great to have you with us to finish off your weekend of hoops on KO Sports, and we've saved one of the closest until last. 1 point separating these 2 teams as they up the defense on Lindsay Allen. Mitchell back on the floor as well.
And I like how Perth have extended their defense and sort of taken Melbourne. It takes them a little while to get it over and to get set up into anything.
Mitchell goes solo, then kicks it out for Allen for 3. Boom!
Lindsay Allen has come to life in this 4th quarter.
Gives the Boomers back the lead. What a quarter she's playing. Can Perth respond like they have done all game so far? Scherf to Burrows. No one guarding Burrows. She can't get the reverse to go. Sharp gives them a fresh 14 seconds and then puts up the long 2 attempt and can't get it. Another offensive rebound. Burrows gets the 2. Allen hits the deck. It is all happening. Alex Sharp has 10 rebounds, 8 of them offensive.
That's impressive that she, at this stage of the game, is still going after it so hard.
Allen inside for Ernst. Back out for Davidson, who fumbles. Mitchell and Allen still waiting around the perimeter as Scanlon goes to work, and a lovely left-hand finish. 20 years of age, Lily Scanlon stepping up to give her side the lead against the ladder leaders. Here's Burrows. She loses control. Scanlon again with great defense, forcing the turnover. You look at it on the floor at the moment in this kind of situation. Normally, if you're at full strength, the likes of Scanlon and Burrows and Sharp and Eisenbarger and Davidson, they wouldn't be out on the floor normally at this stage of the game.
No, and that's a good learning for Burrows there, is that she was probably over-dribbled that. There, you know, there wasn't really a driving lane, and so she was sort of forcing it. So, you know, that'll be something she'll learn from.
Big stop forced there by the Boomers, courtesy of Lily Scanlon. She's still out on the floor. Allen for Mitchell. She's taken over in this fourth quarter, Lindsay Allen. Gutted by Chibatoni, for Davidson, for Scanlon, for 3. Don't count the points.
Is that going to be on Carly Ernst, her 5th foul?
Let's have a look. It is on Ernst. And she's out of the game. Huge blow for the Boomers with 4 minutes left, and that is a long time in basketball, especially when it's only a 2-point game, considering the momentum flow of this match.
Well, now falls on Penina Davidson to really, you know, work her magic with Scherf, because if I were Perth, I'd be going inside.
So Izzy Wright checks into the game. Ernst 196 centimetres compared to Izzy Wright 180. A little bit small in the court. You can see Ezzy Magbegor there left of screen next to Carly Ernst. Gee, they'd love to have her out on the floor right about now. Picked up an injury in Opal's training camp, hence she's not out there. So Young with the free throw.
So that was unsportsmanlike. That's interesting.
Right. So Perth get the point. And it's 59-58 now. And they get the ball, Perth. Chibatoni guarded by opposite number 8 in Scanlon, who's been relentless on defense, and she forces the turnover. Now she's off to the races. She backs herself and she scores.
How quick was Lily Scanlon up the court? Sensational to see how explosive she was.
Game-breaking play from Scanlon. Now what can the Lynx deliver? Young pulls up. That mid-range two has been her go-to today. Scherf with an offensive rebound. Can't get it to go. And Penina Davidson comes up with the rebound. Don't go anywhere. Thrilling 3 minutes and 13 seconds and counting coming up on KO Sports.
I thought nobody was going to step up to guard Lindsay Allen.
Allen drives hard. Can't bank it in. Eisenbarger with the rebound. Top spot in the ladder up for grabs. Halfway point of round 10 of this WNBL season. Chibatoni steps inside, gets the 2 to go. 1 point ball game.
There is just nothing between these two teams right now. And the whole game, to be honest.
Gippsland fans treated to a tight, intense, edge-of-your-seat game. Here's Scanlon for Allen. Thought about the 3. Worked their way inside. Beautiful step. Can't get the 2 to go. No foul called. Perth with an important stop. Can they make the most of it? Young kicks it out. Chibatoni free. Sharp. Scherf. Young. Scherf with a mismatch. Fouled. Couldn't get the 2 to go, but she's heading to the free throw line. And she's a 63% free throw shooter, Lauren Scherf.
That's one thing that I think this season, Lauren Scherf, she, in that fourth quarter, she has trouble finishing sometimes. So, you know, that's a basket she probably would have finished in that first quarter, and it's so important that at least she goes to the line now, and if she can nail the foul shots. But, you know, she's finished so well up to this point.
So with Carly Ernst out of the game, she's fouled out with 5 fouls to her name. Penina Davidson is the only recognised big at 189 centimetres left in the game. Lauren Scherf, her opposite number, at 196. So what's your message if you're Guy Malloy to the Melbourne Boomers on defence with Carly Ernst out of the game and Lauren Scherf looking ominous offensively for the Perth Lynx?
Well, you really don't want to try and switch on any on-ball situation, so that if Lauren obviously goes to set a high on ball, you've got to try and get through, because if you switch it, you know, that's they're going to get it inside, and she's going to score. The other option is to double it straight away, which is a good option because as she kicks it outside, they haven't been shooting the 3-ball well. So, you know, that's an option as well.
The Perth Lynx still 1 of 12, haven't put up a 3-point shot so far in this quarter. And they are usually the #1 3-point percentage team in the competition. Perth are going at 38%. In general, they're the #1 field goal percentage team in the competition at 45%. #1 offense, as we've mentioned a number of times today. But they have not had it on their own terms at all.
Dare I say overtime? I think
Well,
I love these close games.
there's been 2 games that have gone to overtime so far this season. Perth has been involved in 1 of them as Scherf misses the free throw. 5 of 7 now, that is, from the charity stripe. And she misses both, and Allen grabs the rebounds.
Such at a critical time of this game, those misses.
2 minutes to go. Lou Brown on the court. Scanlon is still out there as well. Mitchell from the baseline. Can't get it to go. Tiff Mitchell. And the Perth Lynx will now have another opportunity. Chibatoni for Scherf. Thought about the 3. Works away inside instead. Offensive foul is called. Lou Brown takes the hit, but she's just favouring her lower right leg. Nonetheless, big time play from Lou Brown.
Talk about putting your body on the line.
They have rolled an ankle. We'll have a look on replay. Stuck with Scherf all the way on this play. And Scherf landed on her lower right leg, rather. That's where the pain is coming from.
That's just such a hard call to make. I'm not sure Lou Brown was set in her position when Lauren, you know, drove it in there. I think she was still perhaps moving. It's easy for us to see when we see it on a replay. The refs have to make a call in a split second, but that was tough on Lauren Scherf.
Guy Malloy with some words of advice for Lindsay Allen. As the point guard takes control, she's got something to work with now. No, some space opened up with Lou Brown and Scanlon. Allen goes to work. 5 seconds to shoot for Brown, for Mitchell. She's got to put it up now. Drives hard inside. And it's still off Boomer's hands. Mitchell wanted the foul call, unforthcoming. Arguing with the referee with 73 seconds remaining in this game.
Well, that looked pretty all ball to me.
Eisenberger, nice job there, taking it out of Mitchell's hands. Catch and shoot from Tiff Mitchell was outstanding.
And that's all she had time for. I think there was less than a second on that shot clock.
Just hasn't been dropping for her today, but she's now 4 of 13 from the field. And the Boomers have a 3-point lead. What have the Lynx got? Young drives inside, raising up, can't make it in. 1 minute to go.
Perth really have to come up with a solid stop here and then shoot that 3-ball, which they haven't been confident to do all day.
2 team fouls apiece in this quarter. Lindsay Allen calls the play. 35 seconds remaining, 5 on the shot clock. Lou Brown for Allen, the dagger! Can't get it to go. Perth come up with a stop. 5-second differential between game clock and shot clock. 22 seconds remaining. Eisenberger steps up. Can't get it.
Out to
Young
the
with the
three-point line.
rebound. Still a 4-second differential between game clock and shot clock. Chibatoni gets it to go. 1-point ball game. Timeout called with 13 seconds on the clock. This game is bonkers.
Wow, that was a big-time shot by a big-time player in Tiffany Mitchell.
And then Young comes up with a huge offensive rebound. And Chibatoni's such a tough player. And with Lindsay Allen in her face, gets the 2 to go.
We'll see how this pans out, Ben, but I think I would have rather had that rebound. I could see Alex Sharp backpedaling out to the 3-point line, kick it out there and try for a 3. This, 1-point game with not much time left on the clock and the Boomers' possession.
2 fouls for each team so far in this quarter. Reminder, Carly Ernst fouled out of the game, and that's with already no Ezzy Magbegor and Kayla George. But it has been the smalls that have done the damage in this last quarter for the Boomers. Lee Scanlon and Lindsay Allen. A team high 15 points for Allen. And I assume on offense here, you want the ball in her hands. Laurie?
Well, absolutely you do. And you know, they have fouls to give away. They're going to have to foul quickly. You obviously try and get a steal on that inbounds pass, but if you don't, you've just got to foul so quickly to top that clock, and they've got to do that a few times.
And we might go as well too, from a Boomers perspective, you might go to Tiffany Mitchell, we know how deadly she is from the stripe and how efficient she is. She's a 91% free throw shooter.
Yes.
So they might look for her as well. So there's 13 seconds remaining on the clock. The Boomers lead by 1. Mitchell's got the inbounds pass though. Where's this ball going? Mitchell for Allen is fouled. Chibatoni called for the foul. That's just her first. 3 fouls each for Young, Sharp and Scherf. Mitchell again with the inbounds pass. 12 seconds on the clock. Allen is fouled.
So Perth should know right now, or usually the assistant coach feeds that information to the head coach. Who's the worst foul shooter on the Melbourne lineup that's on the floor right now? Deny everybody else and let that player catch it and then foul them.
Done well, Perth to foul quickly.
Yes.
It was Sharp with the foul there. So Lindsay Allen was quickly drawing the contact there.
So I believe that was the 4th foul, so now we'll have some foul shots.
And it's here with Mitchell, and they waited for the 1-2 until they had the bonus upcoming, the Boomers. So they did the 1-2 with Davidson off the bench, off the inbounds pass rather, and Mitchell will now head to the free throw line.
Yeah, that was clever, straight to Mitchell. That was a planned play to go straight back to Tiffany Mitchell, who we know is a great foul shooter.
Just the one miss so far today from the stripe. Tiffany Mitchell, 1 of 2, 91% free throw shooter throughout this WNBL season. Just a reminder, 89.7% in her WNBA career, which is ranked 6th in that competition all time.
And she's 89% in the WNBL this year as well.
That one just drops. Just makes it that little bit harder for Perth now, but
well, we would expect a timeout to be called if she makes this one.
And she does. And there is that timeout, Laurie, with the Boomers holding a 3-point lead, and the Perth Lynx cannot buy a 3-point shot today.
Well, isn't that just, you know, you'd be just so happy if Mabry, Garvin or Whitcomb were on the court right now drawing up your 3-point play. You'd be pretty confident in any of them. But the group that's on now, they're just being hesitant about shooting that 3-point shot.
So normally you would have Darcy Garvin, as you mentioned, to choose from. She's a 48% 3-point shooter this season, ranked #1 in the competition. Marina Mabry as well, 33% 3-point shooter, but percentage aside, she's just a big-time clutch player. And then, of course, Sammy Whitcomb, and we know her scoring prowess.
And all those 3 players that you just named would be going, yep, I'm happy to shoot it. You know, run a play for me. And so they'd have options. So you look now and you think, well, Alex Sharp can shoot it. Scherf can shoot it. Yep. Chibatoni can. Young, but they just haven't done that this whole game. So, but maybe this is the one.
Maybe this might be the one. Thinking maybe Emma Clark. She's a 41% 3-point shooter, but she's going to be on the bench.
But what the Boomers have to do is switch everything.
Yep. Don't
get caught in any. Let them score a 2-point basket. That's fine, but do not let them have a 3. So they've got to talk, they've got to communicate, and they've got to switch.
Chibatoni with the inbounds pass. Final seconds of the game coming up. Passes to Young, who kicks it out. It's Sharp for 3. Sharp by name, sharp by nature. Ties up the scores with 3.7 seconds left.
Wouldn't you believe it? No threes all game. They nailed that last one on the buzzer. However, there is still 3.7 seconds left. Oh my goodness, this game.
Sharp set herself. Despite the pressure from Izzy Wright, knocked it down, and we have to remember we're watching one of the best young prospects in Aussie basketball right now, Alex Sharp, coming up with a clutch three. And there's 3.7 seconds remaining on the clock.
That was big time, Alex Sharp. This game sort of deserves overtime.
It does.
Ken.
Yeah, it does.
You know,
it really does.
The 4-point margin has been the largest it's been this whole game. What a treat for the fans in Traralgon.
Timeout called. Ryan Petrick and Guy Malloy addressing their respective sides. The Boomers will just be hoping to get a 2-pointer here, you'd think.
Yeah, so they'll advance the ball to the half of the court, and then, you know, 3.7 seconds is a long time in basketball.
Yep. Davidson has 11 points. Mitchell has 15. Allen has 15, rather. Mitchell has 11. Thrilling finish coming up on a Sunday night with top spot up for grabs. These two severely undermanned sides putting on a show nonetheless. Wright will have the inbounds pass. She's going for Lindsay Allen. She's been the player of the quarter for 2. Can't get it to go. Davidson turns around. No points, don't count it. And Laurie Chiswick, we are heading to OT.
Oh, well, that's so fitting. So what you would say this game would be different to what you would say a different game when you have all your stars there too. So, you know, you do have to just manage it, you know, with what you've got now. But, you know, there'd be really strict instructions as to what, you know, what to do and how to go about this. It's another 5 minutes on the clock. So who's got the legs?
Scanlon will start back out on the floor for Melbourne. What a fourth quarter she's played alongside Lindsay Allen. Chibatoni, Young, Eisenbarger, Sharp, Scherf on the floor here. 5 minutes of overtime underway. Allen gets the screen from Davidson. Wright back for Allen with 10 seconds on the shot clock. Gets the screen again from Davidson. Beautiful cut inside from Izzy Wright. The reverse layup drops.
Oh, they got caught. Perth Lynx got caught ball watching, and Izzy Wright just snuck in the back there. And Lindsay Allen knew that was going to happen.
Jackie Young, though, comes up. Foul is called. And she will be heading to the line. Young, she is the leading point scorer on the floor. So that was Mitchell, I think, called for the foul there. So she's got 3 personal fouls to her name. Wright has 4. Reminder, Carly Ernst has fouled out. Jackie Young, a 76% free throw shooter so far this season. And she gets both. And this, no other way to describe it than an arm wrestle these two have played out in Gippsland today. And
wow.
Lindsay Allen just brings it into the front court in time. Good defense from the Lynx. 7 to shoot now. Allen again gets the screen from Davidson. Kicks it out for Scanlon. 1 to shoot, has to put it up. No shot clock recognition. Good defense from Perth, an important stop from them.
And that stop came from the pressure that they put full court or 3-quarter court, that zone. And Melbourne's got to be way more aggressive with that.
Fans lift their voices for the Melbourne Boomers on defense now. This Perth Lynx side have been away from home all season so far. Undermanned, continuing to go to work. Great defense from Izzy Wright, just stepped out of bounds. Clean there on Lauren Scherf. Wright already has 4 fouls to her name. Did well not to be fouled out. Five to shoot on the shot clock. Chippertoni for Sharp. She forced this game into overtime. She can't give Perth the lead, but Chippertoni can rebound and give Jackie Young another bucket. And the Lynx regain the lead after Young takes her tally to 23 points. Wright, Davidson, Scanlon, 6 to shoot for Izzy Wright, who didn't take the shot straight away, went in hard inside, shot clock violation. Referee will halt the play. That's the second shot clock violation the Perth Lynx have forced in the past few minutes.
They've done a great job, but I think Melbourne just need to get the ball in you know, Lindsay Allen, Tiff Mitchell's hands and really let them try and create something out there. It's only 3 minutes to go in this game.
Lily Scanlon, the young gun, has had the ball a fair bit in those last couple of offensive plays. Here's Young. Guarded closely by Mitchell. Beautiful pass inside, no foul on Wright, but Scherf is good enough to come up with another 2, and Perth take a 4-point lead.
That feels like such a big lead, 4 points.
Scanlon again, being entrusted with the responsibility just outside the perimeter. Feeds it off for Mitchell for 3. Well off target. And Tiff Mitchell is 0 of 6 from deep today. Halfway through OT1. Scanlon can't quite force the turnover, but she's forced Jackie Young right back to midcourt. Young now works her way inside the perimeter. Kicks it out. Not again. Alex Sharp can't quite deliver. Didn't look too bad off the hand.
That's where she sunk the dagger from to get this into overtime.
Big stop for the Boomers forced there. Allen for Davidson. A rare 3. Can't get it to go. She took the shot, Davidson. She's a 40% three-point shooter normally. They come up with a fresh 14 seconds. Allen for Mitchell. This time, 7th time lucky. Can't get it to go. Right with an offensive rebound. Scherf and Sharp are there, though, to pick up the crumbs. Allen, the quick hand.
Oh,
unsportsmanlike foul call. Jackie Young is called for the foul, and Lindsay Allen is heading to the strike.
So it's shot and possession.
Happened so quickly. Referee was right on the spot there to call it. Before Lindsay Allen goes to the free throw line, a timeout is called, with Perth leading 71 to 67. Just take a moment to take a breath if you're at home, as we certainly need it in the commentary box for what has been a totally unpredictable game and a totally unpredictable season.
Well, I think those last couple of play phases for Melbourne, they just didn't look confident in what they were doing. They were moving the ball sort of slowly, and whose hand should I get it in? And they just have to forget that and go, like, who's been scoring for us? So Mitchell, Allen, Davidson, get those in on-ball screens and roll and get some action there, but be confident in what you're doing. And you know, there's only a minute and a half left. You got to get some points on the board here.
So what do the Boomers do from out of these free throws from Lindsay Allen? What are you looking at from an offensive perspective, because they'll have the possession of the ball afterwards?
Well, I would like to see a drive. They've shot they've put up a couple of threes. They haven't dropped, although I give them full credit. They're going after those old boards and giving themselves some second chance opportunities. But put some pressure on the ring, whether that's through pass or dribble penetration. And if you're stopped, well, then kick it out to an open shooter.
Yeah, offensive rebounding has been a trait that both teams have done quite well today. Melbourne has 20, Perth Lynx 21. But
that's massive.
Yeah, no doubt. It happens, I suppose, naturally when the field goal percentage of both teams is down, but nonetheless, they've been mighty, both teams, off the boards. Here's Lindsay Allen, a 83% free throw shooter this season.
Lindsay makes the first. She has won the time.
Big deep breath. Eyes only for the rim. Perfectly executed from LA. Young just arguing her case with the referee after being called for the unsportsmanlike. She's got 4 personal fouls to her name. And Sharp also has 4 for the Lynx, as the Boomers get possession back and they're down by 2 in OT1.
I feel like when you say OT1 that you're thinking we might go into another one.
I just never know. Scanlon for 3 from the corner. Can't get it to go. Another offensive rebound for Izzy Rice. Allen for Mitchell. Works her way hard inside. Can't draw the foul. Davidson gets the 2. Scores level again.
Here we go. Minute to go.
This game is nuts. 71 apiece. Eisenbarger. Sharp. Remember, the Lynx are 2 of 15 from three-point territory today. Young can't get around Mitchell. Scherf feed Davidson. Scherf gets it to drop.
Nice finish by Lauren Scherf. A lot of pressure with that shot. 19
points, 18 rebounds in a monster game for Scherf. There's 36 and 35 and counting. And a 21-second differential between game clock and shot clock. Mitchell for Scanlon. Works her way inside.
Oh.
And the pass wasn't there for Davidson. And a turnover.
I think they retain the ball.
Here is Lauren Scherf. Tough shot.
Tough shot. Great finish by Scherf.
5 seconds on the shot clock. 25 on the game clock. Lindsay Allen for Mitchell. Has to put it up. Stepping back. Falling short. And the Perth Lynx now in control.
They need to foul straight away.
No shot clock as Tiff Mitchell gives away the foul. 14 seconds remaining. Mitchell's called for her 4th personal foul. Jackie Young will head to the line, a 76% free throw shooter. Just gets that one to drop, and it makes it mighty hard for the Melbourne Boomers now.
Well, if she makes this one, that 4-point margin is, 2 possessions is pretty tough with the time left, and she does it.
Young gets both free throws to go. Lindsay Allen kicks it up. Scanlon for 3. Can't get it to go. That is deemed off Eisenbarger's hands, but there's 6.4 seconds on the clock and 4 points for the Boomers to make up. Scanlon with the inbounds pass. Turned over. Chibatoni for Young. And the Perth Lynx escape with the win. Oh, we've got one foul with 0.2 seconds remaining, it sounds like. The Perth Lynx have fought mighty hard. 75-71. Looks like there was 0.2 seconds remaining on the clock.
And I think there's an unsportsmanlike call. Tiff Mitchell just kicked the ball at the end of that play phase, and yeah, wasn't happy, and unsportsmanlike's been called.
It allows Jackie Young to head to the free throw line and add to her points tally. That takes her to 26, and she's been clutch from the free throw line. 10 of 11 to go with 7 rebounds and 6 assists. And the Perth Lynx have won 5 on the trot.
Wow.
In a mighty overtime game. One of the more hard-fought wins of the season. But this team with this never say die attitude continues to amaze on the road, but they keep on winning.
Well, you know what? That was just such an entertaining game to watch, and even without their superstars not there, people stepped up. It was close all game, and what a win for Perth to come away with.
The Perth Lynx 76, the Melbourne Boomers 71 in overtime. The Boomers led by 3 with under 10 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter, and Alex Sharp came up clutch. She's getting some niggle from her teammates now to send it into overtime, and Jackie Young, well, with 3 of her fellow starters out, came up with 26 points. A shout out for Lauren Scherf as well, 19 points and 18 rebounds. For the Boomers, 4 players got over 10 points. And then Davidson really stepped up with 13 and 9. Lindsay Allen took over in the second half. But the Perth Lynx, with their second overtime victory of the season, as we have a look at some of the game highlights, that it was right up until the end, it was fitting that we went to overtime because, Laurie, this was such an unpredictable game.
Well, you know, sitting here trying to call it and predict who was going to win and who was going to do what was really difficult, because neither team had any real ascendancy or momentum during the game. It just kept switching. If one team would get 3 up, the other team would come back. So a lot of teamwork, you know, a lot of scoring by everybody that hit the court. So highly entertaining game of women's basketball.
And it was fantastic to see Lindsay Allen really step up. There's Alex Sharp with the dagger. Big cuddles from her teammates as well. And then in overtime, the Lynx were able to outscore the Boomers by 5 points. We saw Lauren Scherf there hitting that big 2. And certainly a fantastic effort, as well as we cross down to the player of the moment, Alex Sharp. Alex, congratulations. Ben Waterworth and Laurie Chiswick back in the commentary position here. Talk to us about that final play just before time ran out in the fourth quarter, and the ball's coming into your hands, the play's being drawn up. How are you feeling heading into that final play?
I think we were just focused. I mean, Ryan drew it up nice and clear, so as I saw the pick coming from me, I was drifting to the corner and, you know, just catch and shoot. That's all that I was thinking.
Have you had a clutch shot like that before, Alex?
I don't think I have, not from memory. Maybe back in college days, but not in the WNBL.
Alex, it's Laurie here. It's so great to see you out there in the Perth uniform and playing so well. I tell you what, today's game, there was never more than a 3-point margin. Did you feel that out there? Did you feel the closeness and the tenseness of the game?
Yeah, it was very much possession by possession that whole game. I think there wasn't even really momentum swims. It was so back and forth. I think we just had to stay really focused in the moment, and I think that's what kind of got us over the edge at the very end there.
Well, you shot as a team 2 from 15 from the 3-point line, and one of them was your great shot. It's one of those things where you have to shoot it. You're down by 3. You've got to set your feet and shoot it, and you certainly did that, and well done to you. And then in that overtime, you really kicked ahead, and it looked really good.
Yeah, I think really when it comes down to it, you just, like you said, you've got to catch and shoot no matter whether it's been going in during the game. You just have to make it when it counts.
Alex, you had to step up today, along with Alex Cipottone as well, with some of your normal starters not available through opals and injury as well. What was your mindset heading into today, knowing that you had to step up into that starting 5?
I think just play as a group, play together. Our bench crew runs really deep, and we've been waiting for this moment to step up. We knew it was coming, so I think we were ready to go.
And Jackie Young had probably her best game so far since she's been out in Australia. She had 26 points to go with 7 rebounds and 6 assists. How pleasing was it to see her really step up, certainly offensively, and have a big impact for the Lynx?
Oh yeah, she's so fun to watch. I think everything she does on the court, like she's a team player, but she'll step up, she'll make those big shots when we need it. Great defender, she's just an all-round great player, so it's nice to be a teammate.
Sharper, you guys have a massive schedule coming up in the next little while because you missed so many games in that first month. With the condensed season, the games coming up, the fact you got the news about the uncertainty about going back to Perth, how's the mood with everybody? I mean, this win today would certainly buoy everybody's spirits.
Yeah, definitely. I think right now it's just about sticking together. We're only taking it one game at a time, and I think as long as we're focusing on the next, just one at a time, we're doing well and we're coming together as a group and really bonding. So it's going to be exciting to see how we can push through into these next second half of the season. And
Alex, one more before we let you go. For you personally, a big 2021. You had a really big NBL 1 West campaign. You had some time with the Opals in the Asia Cup setup. You were part of the 24-player squad recently that just missed out on that when it was cut to 16. How are you seeing your personal development over the past 12 months?
It's been a whirlwind of 12 months, but I'm just trying to stay focused. You know, I've got a development plan, so I'm sticking to that, and to be a part of that Opal squad was an honour, and I'm just going to try to keep pushing and, just do my thing.
You keep staying humble as well, keep getting the stick from your teammates as well, and keep hitting those clutch threes. That was terrific from you today as well. Congratulations on the win, and go well for the rest of the season.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Alex Sharp joining us courtside as well, and she won't be forgetting that clutch three anytime soon.
No, that's something you dream about as a player, that, you know, I'll make that last play of the game, run it for me, hit it, and especially a three-point shot like that, and when you haven't been shooting well, so really fun to see. And Alex Sharp is a really great person.
Yeah.
And as I mentioned during the call, really high IQ, so couldn't have happened to a better person.
And big smiles on the faces of the Perth Lynx as well. They stay on top of the WNBL ladder. They've got 5 wins on the trot now as we have a look at some of the key numbers from the game. It's kind of a game where numbers don't probably paint the full picture of how this game played out, because certainly from a scoreboard perspective, it was just an arm wrestle throughout this whole game, but the offensive rebounding from both teams is a big trait that we talked about today, Laurie.
Well, and it had a big influence on the game because it gave teams second chance opportunities to get those misses or to get those shots, those putbacks when people were missing. But across the board, it was pretty even, as you can see, and it just reflected in that scoreline the whole game through.
Yeah, it was a completely unpredictable game right throughout, no doubt about that. The Perth Lynx getting the victory 76-71, and you know this journey on the road for the Perth Lynx continues, Laurie. That's now 5 wins in a row, and despite no Wickham, no Maybury as well, they continue just to I suppose, prove that they are going to be a big championship contender this year.
Oh, absolutely. So impressive with the way they've embraced living in Ballarat, the way they've had today in the absences of you mentioned 2 of them, Garvin as well, who we know is playing really well. So they've just embraced their situation. And you would have to say, and we've said it all along, that when Sammy Whitcomb signed with them, that made them, one of the favorites. And I think you'd have to place Melbourne, the Boomers, in that category too. So this game was really a product of that.
Yeah, I think we saw an arm wrestle between 2 top 4 teams today in the ladder positions. Certainly reflect that. Laurie, I think we can all go home and breathe.
Absolutely.
That was a nuts game. Nice working with you, and nice to have your company at home on KO Sports. On behalf of Laurie Chiswick and the entire hard-working team, this is Ben Waterworth signing off from Gippsland, where we saw a bonkers game. But in the end, it was an overtime win for the Perth Lynx over the Melbourne Boomers, 76-71. Good night.